Howdy's. I've had some wild things going on at the shop. Felt like I could have swore I've had a raccoon in here, tearing up trash, dragging crap all over the place, spilling my chemical bottles. It's gotten ridiculous. So I installed some high-tech security footage camera. I watched it this morning. To say the least, I'm not very pleased, but I'm just gonna let you guys watch it, check it out, see what I've been dealing with. As y'all can see, I'm not exactly dealing with a critter problem here. I don't have wild animals coming here and messing with stuff. I mean, he's technically a wild animal, but it's a Tex. Now, as you can see here, he's got, I don't know if he's trying to tell me it's time to make some changes, some of Texas home brew, which is just more or less a mixture of some sort of Appalachian moonshine, very potent. You can't take like one sip of this stuff. It'll knock you dead. Never tried that myself, but it's very, very potent. It's also got some of this rattlesnake venom that's reduced a little bit. So, you know, I know this stuff has worked. I've used it in the past, so we may or may not come back to this. I just, you know, I don't understand this guy. I mean, he could have called me. He could have simply called me and just told me how to mix this stuff. But yeah, he's breaking and entering. We got a package. It's a tire-related package. I've got a very fine, decent collection of tires. You know, give or take. Some of them's damn near a year old. Little greedy monk when it comes to just throwing tires away. You know, I don't ever really throw them away. If I get rid of them, I find my local yokel or my buddy Kane or somebody like that could use some tires. And I gift them to them because that's just the kind of person I am. I'm here for the people. Saturday Night Racer's biggest fan right here. That's the bottom line. So I got these tires from palmettos. They got a lot of palmetto berries and stuff like that. They use it for cancer research. God bless them. Now, I specifically left in the notes. Now, this is what I'm very curious. This is almost like a little test for you guys too. I specifically, they got a box you type in. I typed in that box. I said, look, if you could now, just do this for me, please. Match the date codes, but more importantly, match the mold numbers. Only if you could do it. Now, if you can't do it, I understand. I know things get stressed. The children's there at the office, and they got you stressed out about they done ate somebody's lunch out the fridge. Now they're pissed off. That's got you more stressed. You ain't got time to order mold numbers. I understand that, palmettos. If you didn't, we're just going to see. Man, if they did, I would definitely only order my tires from them. All right, well, let's start off here. Let's just see if we got anything matching. This is mold number 2, 36 week of 24. Huh? They didn't. Mold number 3. They pretty much told me to eat a bag of you know what. It is the same week though. 36, 24. Mold number 3. So 2 of the tires are the same mold. One of the right sides, one of the left rears. Weeks are relatively close on those. I'm just curious if it's got it wrote in here that I specifically asked for that, or if they left me a note like, hey, you're an idiot, and we're not doing that. Comment. Please match date codes and mold numbers if possible. You can kiss our ass. You're an idiot. If you don't like it, eat a bag. I mean, can you believe that? It was worth a shot. Not only that, we also got some bearings. Going to change the rear bearings on the Kart. Mr. Owens sent me everything for the front. These rears are a little more delicate to get. And I like to tuck and run blackouts. They're blacked out. They're murdered out. They go in the rear. We got to get these babies rolling. Should we use this Texas homebrew or should we stick with what we've been doing? Drop a comment now. Not that it's going to matter, because you're going to see this after I rolled it, but I still want to know what you would have done did. God bless. Let's roll some tires. We got to mount them first, though. Yeah. This part right here, it's been a real pain in the butt lately. I don't know, some of these left rears, man, I catch hell trying to get them on the bead. Check. Get off the floor, do it on the bench. I hear you naysayers about my floor work. There's a piece of metal in there. We're out of the SD20, so we're gonna hope the Papa Don's will get it on the bead for us. It's not feeling very lubey. We're gonna add some more lubrication to this right quick. Some of that old palm olive. I think it's made from olives. I don't really care for olives myself, but I like the palm olive. Why can't you buy a decent sprayer? Right out the gate, we're gonna try and knock this one out. Come on. Usually when you lose that air, it'll suck it right off, or you have to break it back down again. I swear, I'm gonna start flipping every new set of tires I get like 20 times before I race them. Now, let's apply our flamethrower. Okay, now that it's like burning your fingers hot, we'll try this again. Add our palm olive. I know what the hell I'm doing. Now that I've taken over my tires, I'm really trying to build me a, I guess you could say, a catalog. Okay, not the kind you have when you're 14 underneath the dadgum pillowcase, you freaks. A tire catalog. My specific catalog, I want to have a set of tires about every 4 weeks apart. Ideally, I'd like to have a set of tires going every 2 weeks, as in rolled 2 weeks apart. I'm not made of them kind of Benjamins, okay? Nor am I a hardcore idiot. Do I look like a hardcore idiot to you? Didn't think so. It might be every 4 weeks apart. It might be every 6. But either way, I keep them cataloged, and that kind of lets me know what I'm dealing with at the racetrack. I can kind of get a feel for the track, just like I can't, kind of get a feel for this little hub piece. I can get a feels for the track. Use my glasses. I get those pushed on real tight, and I feel the dirt. I say, you know what? This is a 6-week-old tire track. I guarantee, now Billy, I guarantee freaking it. I 5 week my ass 6 week, and I'm gonna go grab a set of 6-week-olds, and I'm gonna dominate. One thing I haven't been doing is servicing the tire prior to prepping and scuffing. And I don't really care so much about servicing it to get chemical in there, because I'm just a big believer in you're really not gonna get your full chemicals potential until you throw a good scuff of duff on a tire. But one thing I've noticed, these Maxxis tires, they got a little bit of a hump on them, so they're never true. So I kind of want to square off that hump. I'm not necessarily going to cut the tire. I'm not even probably going to touch center too much until I finish it. Where that hump is, in this area, I just want to grind that down a little bit and get this tire as true as possible. And then I'll proceed on to finding that Texas homebrew. I'm starting off here with some 80 grit, and then I'll probably jump something like a 180 and a 240 finish. Finish it with a 240 shorty. We'll jump around up and find all our different grits. One here is our 180. Finish her off with some 220s. Somebody has stolen my sandpaper. Luckily, I got like one piece here. Essentially here, we have now got ourselves a perfectly squared tire. My dots are still there, all that good stuff. All I did was true this tire up a little bit. Is it perfect? Absolutely not, people. I don't have a micrometer on here, okay? I'm just trying to do the best I can do, and I'd appreciate it if y'all would back it down just a little bit. I'm doing my very best. That's all I can do is my very best. Boom. Now look, I showed y'all the process. You're welcome. Take the level on my rollers here. You always want to make sure your levels, they're leveled. Now that we have our tires all surfaced, kind of give you guys a look at her. Got nice and surfaced, kind of squared her off, got it to where whenever I'm ready, I can give it some chemical if I don't have time to, go do a little scuff of duff. We're going to give our old Texas homebrew a try here. This stuff used to work back in the day. I've won a lot of races on this, and why not bring it back? It was winning when I got off of it. And old Tex and Granddaddy, they mixed this stuff up many years back, and it's just been a super successful prep for me, so we're going to give it a shot here. Got to mix her up good. You got to get that daggone venom juice. You got to get it all mixed up in there. That's almost a tick too much. That should be good right there. Kind of got a race picked out for these tires. I don't really abuse a tire too much, just simply because I don't race enough. So I'm kind of like to roll mine to where I can re-roll them a couple months down the road and get some more use out of them, especially doing some Saturday night digs. You do not have to have a brand new tire for a Saturday night dig. Go get some takeoffs to somebody, re-roll them, let it rip. Use some of Texas homebrew. Throw a little air to her. Just to give y'all an idea, I'm rolling these tires roughly 4 weeks out. Even though I'm rolling them now and I might have a race prior, then I will not run these tires no prior because it's just gonna be too fresh. Hardly ever, wintertime, maybe crossroads, something like that, you might be on a week-old tire. But that is far and few between, at least what I have learned. Some people might be doing it, might be winning races. Maybe that's where I'm missing, okay? But about everywhere you go is going to require something a little bit different. It's never going to be the same thing every time. That's what makes this sport so challenging. The teams that are winning these giant races, one of the big advantages they got is they got a camp, okay? They got a freaking camp of people. And they got somebody in every single class of the day. So by like the last round of practice, they have threw something different on everybody, at least their best drivers, and they have figured out what the track is like at qualifying, and by qualifying they done figured out what it's going to take race time at the first few races. That's what you're up against, people. There's not many one-man bands in this operations. It's usually a team of people, and it's hard to beat money. Man, that stuff that burns the nostrils. I'm gonna be highly upset if this doesn't work. It's hard to get that shine it takes to mix this stuff. It ain't something you can just order off the Amazon webs, because it's hard to even buy a gallon of somebody's inside prep. Mix it up ourselves here in the house. We're gonna save ourselves a cool $120 here. Hasta luego. Vamonos, tires, vamonos. We got our tires on the roller that wants to knows. Those that wants to knows, we do got the roller leveled. Okay, we've had some people come about, things on level, Bill. Your tires on level. You're wrong. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to levels. I know how to level up to the level. That particular rattle moccasin juice, it takes a little longer to tire in the tire. So we're gonna let these babies, we're gonna let them eat for about 13 hours and 26 minutes. Then we'll pull them up off here. So we're gonna just let them babies cook for a little bit, and they're gonna be right. Now they're not gonna drop duros till we do a scuff session, but they'll have the juice in them. They're poisonous now, poisonous tires. It's maintainage type of day today. You gotta maintain your stuff. We're about to change some bearings up. We got some brand new rear bearings. Trying to do this the easiest way possible, okay? Get us some Sharpies. One thing I always like to mark my stuff. That way there is no confusion when you go to put stuff back on. Even take a picture if you got to, get a Snapchat of it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Probably gonna end up kicking these tires all over the place here shortly, so ignore that if that happens. I actually had these bearings in here for probably 5 or 6 races now. They're really not making no noise or anything, but better to be safe than sorry. I want as much performance as I can get as possible. And go-kart racing, it gets down to the 10th. Race car racing, you down 5/10, that's really not that big of a deal. Daggum go-kart, if you down 5/10, Bubba, you're the laughing stock at the racetrack. So we try to get any gain of speed we can get. Sometimes you just never know where you're gonna get that little extra bit. Our case, we're gonna say it's gonna be bearings this week. I need 5.3 titanium. We're gonna need a sponsorship deal at some point, because I'm ready to have some titanium on the go-karts. They got some bad to the bone looking products. Our buddy Ben Taft, he posted some videos of some of his products he got from, and I tell you, they make some sweet looking stuff. And I'm very tempted to get a titanium axle. Like I said, maybe they'll start checking now. I heard some people's gotten busted by it, but maybe I've just never been up close enough to the front to realize that they're getting checked either. So that's a very good possibility too. We're actually going to take a picture of which way the bearing is facing. Booyah. Now is a perfect opportunity. We're going to get this axle cleaned up. There she goes right there. We got her axle. We got her cleaned up. She was nasty. Like I said, I don't like cleaning them with the bearings in there. Them bearings attract water. Water is big fans of bearings. So we try to keep them unattracted from one another is what I'm saying here. Very simple stuff. We're good. We got these new black, but they're murdered out, like I said. It's actually pretty cool if you look at them, like they're literally solid black, already lubed up nice and neatly. Drop her into place. Alan, come here, Alan. That's the wrong size. Ain't out. That's not the Allen I was looking for. Snug-a-dug-dug. Simple maintenance. So these bearings are only like $18 a piece on Palmetto Karting if you're a member. I don't think the membership is like but $30 a year. Which I buy a lot of stuff from PEC South, Old Peck, and sometimes I buy from the TIS, the TNS. I'm not prejudiced is what I'm getting to here. Perfecto. It's hot as crap. Just throwing it out there. This shop is not insulated. And just so y'all get good sound, I try to keep the doors closed rather than letting a breeze through here. I do it for the people, okay? That's what I do. That's sacrifice I make. I sweat and I stink. And I don't drink enough water, so I really stink. All for y'all sound quality. No better feeling than throwing an axle back in the cart with some fresh spinach on it. Has anybody heard about this 100-lap race somewhere in Georgia on treaded tires? I just came across it last night, and I don't know for sure, but I'll tell you this much: as long as we ain't got no plans here at the threshold here, I will be there. I have yet to run the treads, and I love 100-lap races, so I think that could be a pretty cool event right there. If you know the event I'm talking about, go ahead and drop a comment. Let the rest of the people know. We have not ran in quite a while. I have a race coming up though, and I plan on, now that we've kind of gotten through vacation mode, to start racing a little more often, maybe a couple times a month. And I'm not going to marry myself to nothing. I'm just going to kind of go with the flow. Start trying to find some of these other tracks, some of these other events, whether it be Saturday night digs or whatever. I do know Jasper next year, something exciting. They're bringing back the Super 8 series, Crossroads Motorplex. If you've never heard of the Super 8 series, it's single-handedly probably one of the best Saturday night series I've ever, been around. They quit doing it for a couple years, but they're bringing it back. It's just gonna be at their track. It's Saturday night racing. There'll be a money race at each one. It's a good crowd. You guys ought to look into it. 2026 Super 8 is coming back. So as you may or may not know, depends how much you observe things, I reckon you could say, I'm not in the same attire I was in the beginning of this video. And the reason is, I shot the beginning of this video prior to like a 4th of July kind of style trip. Stars and stripes, explosions, fireworks, beaches, lots of good times. If you remember, we had rolled these tires beginning of the video with some of Texas homebrew rattlesnake juice. It's been about a week since these puppies have been rolled. I have not checked the duro. I'm curious, just curious to how they duroed out. This is kind of be the trial and error of this internal. We have not ran this internal in 9 years. So I'm just curious, is the duro similar to what I've been dealing with? Or is it softer? Or is it harder? If anything, I hope it's a little softer. All right, we've got our air set. Let's check the duros, the durometers. When I say that, I got a durometer. This is a tire durometer. Okay, you'll see it. It's got fancy numbers on it. It's got a little needle on it. And then when it presses into the tire, it tells you what the duro will be. Okay, sometimes you got to re-zero it, but that's okay. We do that right now. Now we must duro the tire. Okay, see? You want to do it with me? Okay, let's do it. It's actually not bad. 52, 51, 52, 53. So that's actually really good. That's kind of crazy. I've been rolling similar amounts. I'll just go and shoot the cat right now. This is rolled at about 87 cc's. It's no secret. I don't know what I'm talking about. Why would you even take this advice? It's not really advice. I'm just letting you know what I did. Okay, you're on the adventure with me. Let me fill you in. We've rolled these at about 88.5 cc's. And typically when I do that, I've used Knauf's inside. I've used Donnie Knowles aggressive inside. They're typically punching like 55 after about a week of rest time. Now, obviously, when you scuff it, you get a heat cycle, get a little prep in it, and it'll drop down to 50. That's not a problem. But these are punching like 51, 52, and I have not scuffed them. I literally sanded them, then rolled them. Kind of curious. I've had issues with tires like wanting to get hardened up. That's why I'm wiping them religiously. But I'm just curious. This will be our first set with this internal, the rattlesnake juice. And man, these things, I mean, they're not discolored. A lot of times we have like a little discoloration, but they feel good. Pretty excited about this. Drop a comment. Do you think the rattlesnake juice is going to work? It's one in the past. It's one on the Maxis. It's one on the Vegas, but that was also 20,000 years ago. This will be first wipe on these tires. Like I said, I sanded them, as y'all seen, and they are just sucking it in. Look at that. 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 I need a light. Somebody get me a light. It is just drying up. It's soaking it up. I've had a lot of people, one of the biggest comments when it comes to people talking about tires on my Super Duper South platforms. One thing I've heard a bunch is you don't need to wipe your left rear. Do not wipe your left rear. Wipe it some, hun, but don't wipe it a lot. So I've kind of like taken that in consideration, and I've not been wiping my left rears as heavy as I was. Kind of like skip a wipe, wipe them, skip a wipe, wipe them. What is anybody else's theory on that? Have you tried that theory? I've heard all kind of stuff from like, I need to run more staggered, all these different things. Are these go-karts just not turning like they used to? Because that's what it feels like to me. They must not be turning like they used to. Or maybe I'm just too big. We'll look into that. We're not going to go that route yet, okay? Don't get me discouraged, please. We'll say, if there's one thing about it, I feel going into my next race, I've got a hell of a tire collection here. I've been kind of buying them about a set a month and kind of rolling them depending on my schedule to give myself a great selection at the track. Now all I gotta do is learn how to read the track and say, hey, it needs a 2-month-old tire, or hey, it needs a 4-week-old tire. I feel like back in the day, I used to run much older tires than I do now. Maybe that's where I'm screwing up. Maybe I'm just too fresh to death. Thanks for tuning in today. We really appreciate you. Please drop a comment, hit like, hit subscribe. God bless Super Duper South. Beat it. Just beat it. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na.